Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Brantford Red Sox Report, right here on Rogers TV, Brantford Red Sox CBL YouTube, or Brantford Red Sox CBL TV. Hi, everybody. I'm Marshall Crocker, Director of Broadcast Media and voice of the Brantford Red Sox, the IBL, now CBL's most winningest team in history, 15 championships. And this season, we're having a lot of fun at the field, and we've already had a couple player guests. We love bringing players. We love taking you on the field, off the field, in front of the camera, behind the camera, past, present. We do everything on Brantford Red Sox Report. We've been off for a couple weeks. There's been all these, game delays, everything getting rained out, the air condition warnings. We're finally back here in the studio. We finally have a guest, and for the first time, we have a rookie to the Canadian Baseball League here this year. A rookie, a new face to the Brantford Red Sox, but one that you've undoubtedly seen making an impact already in 2026. It's another player, it's outfielder, and a gentleman I'm very happy to bring into the studio today. Welcome, Nick Iannantone to Brantford Red Sox Report. My goodness, it's been a great season from you so far on the field. You've been a great presence, and you had a little bit extra to do for us this season. A couple weeks ago, you went in place of Tim Holick, who unfortunately picks up an injury. Last-minute All-Star nod. You get to go in his place. You get to represent the team at the All-Star game. First of all, what was that experience like, getting to be an All-Star in your first year in the Canadian Baseball League?
It was pretty cool. It was nice to be around all those guys in the league, like all the really good players and all the guys that are all very professional and handle their business the right way. And it was cool to experience that. And it was definitely a goal of mine to get into that as well coming into this season. So,
would you have, if you had told yourself, 6 months ago that you were going to be playing in the Canadian Baseball League in All-Star Weekend at that high level in your first year in the country, first year playing here in the league, would you have believed it? Is that kind of the expectation you had for yourself? Is that beyond what you were thinking?
Yeah, definitely an expectation, but I didn't think I was coming to Canada because I'm from America, so I assumed I was going to stay in America and play, but then the opportunity came to play here, and I heard a lot of good things about it, and I know the league's taking that right step forward to go professional, and obviously it turned professional this year, and I saw a lot of players signing to this league that had a lot of experience, whether it was affiliate or winter leagues and stuff internationally, and I was like, yeah, why not? Let's go try it, and it seemed like that was the right step to take, and I'm excited to be here. It's been a good year so far. I like the team, like the guys, like the league, and it's been a good, fun time.
We'll show some photos now on screen of what it looked like at All-Star Weekend. Some of the fun photos, obviously yourself, Chris, Jorge, a number of representatives, and obviously Andrew Savage. What an incredible year he's been having. You guys all, had such a great job, representing our team. I heard only great things from, Brantford's contingent that we sent there to Chatham. And what do you really notice in terms of the not the locker room, but what is the vibe amongst the players at something like the All-Star game? Because obviously you think these are professionals, these are the best in the league, these are the guys that are probably more buttoned up. Does it get a little bit more casual, or is there a little bit of competitive undertone even to the All-Star game?
It was really casual because a lot of the guys obviously that were in that, I would say half of the guys in the All-Star game I think were in this league anyway, years prior, so a lot of them knew each other. Then I would say half are the new guys that have came this year, but it was a pretty cool vibe. I liked it a lot. It was very laid back. I mean, we all were in the same area, in the locker room, so we all were just chit-chatting the whole weekend and just talking to each other, and we all had that mutual respect with each other too, that we all realized we're all really good baseball players and we're all just happy to be there and vibe. And baseball is a very it's like a family-oriented game. It's a small world, so once you meet a guy and everything, we're all doing the same thing. We all respect each other, and but it was a great time.
Now, you come from America. You play in East Tennessee State coming up through college, and then you make the transition over here, like you said, professional baseball, everything that comes with that in here in Canada. What's been the hardest part of adjusting from not only living in America, but this league model relative to what you played in college? What's the biggest change from a year ago you playing right now?
For me, it was more like this league, as of right now, we only play 50 games or 48, whatever it is, and in the leagues I was in prior that I went into out of college, we were playing 6 days a week. So it was more of I would say just a different little bit of a mental grind. Show up every day and play, show up every day and play. But in this league too, it's still a mental grind, because you can be hot, have 2 really good games, and it's now you're not playing for 3 days. You still got to get your work in. You still have to show up every day to the park and still get locked in. But then once you get into a routine, you know what you're doing, it gets pretty simple. So, but I heard in the future they're going to continue to add more games and everything. So, like I said, I think the league's taking the right steps in the right direction. It'll be exciting to see, what else they add this offseason for sure.
Who do you think has the advantage in a more spread out, shortened season sample size where you play half the games of, obviously the MLB and the major leagues, they play 162. If you play 50 at this level, who does that advantage from an on-the-field perspective? Are the pitchers getting more rest? Are the hitters, you can't get the slump because your games are more spread out? Who's in an advantage position with less games?
It's honestly kind of, I guess, both, because, pitchers, they like to see guys in the batter's box and everything, and it's just like different game setting compared to a bullpen. And it's the same with the hitters. They seeing live pitching compared to hitting off the machine, is completely different. So I think in a way it kind of evens itself out, because guys aren't getting their game like reps every single day, or they're getting it 4 days a week instead of 6.
And then what was the transition for you? Let's just talk within Brantford, because you come in and at the start of the season, the most exciting spot on the team was exactly what our best asset was in 25. It's the outfield. And certainly offensively from what we had coming in, Ren Takioka, who unfortunately didn't get the chance to play with last year, unbelievable what he could do on the base pass, what he could do just in terms of pure contact approach at the plate, but also a great outfielder. And he played alongside Ethan Paulos and Brody Black most of his games last season. Well, if you join a year, if you fell asleep for a year, you come out of hibernation, you look at our outfield right now, a little bit similar, but typically it's yourself, Holmgren, Kazemka, Brody Black still out there in right field. What's it been like? Because you take some DH days, some days you play in left. How did it come trying to find your position, your everyday role in this team when there was such depth at the outfield position when you joined at the start of this year?
Kind of just staying ready and just being locked in every day. I mean, at least I know, like for me, I take my hitting very seriously, obviously, and that's because I know that's like my best asset of my game is my hitting. So whether I'm in the outfield or I'm DHing, I just, try to stay locked in for my at-bats and kind of just focus on those. And if I'm playing defense, it's just got to lock in for defense, and it keeps you in the game. And then DH, it's more of not a lax feel, but it's more of, okay, I just got to focus on hitting today. So you tend to kind of just be like, okay, I just got to focus on my 3-4 at-bats I'm going to get, hyper-fixate on that, and then kind of go from there.
Just a final quick question before we take our first break. As a designated hitter, is there more pressure on your shoulders at the plate? I've always wondered, because on the lineup card, well, I'm the guy that doesn't have to play defense today. I should be fresh. I should be good to go. I'm the designated hitter. Is there a little bit more pressure every time you go up to the plate if you're the guy in that role?
For me, no. Because like I said, I take my hitting very seriously. So for me, I don't try to put that pressure on myself. Like I kind of just like, oh, nice. I get to just go up to the plate 3 or 4 times today instead of having to go out and play defense, for 9 innings. But some guys definitely, I can fall into that for sure, if you put the pressure on yourself because you're like, well, my only job is to hit today, this and this, which is true. I mean, you have a bad day, you don't get a job done. It is definitely frustrating, but it's baseball. You just kind of got to take everything pitch by pitch, game by game, and, take everything as it comes.
That reflects what we've seen from you on the field this year, the patience, obviously the walk to strikeout ratio. We're going to talk a little bit more about the on the field, the behind the scenes, how you became the player you are today. We're going to take a quick break right here on Brantford Red Sox Report. Don't go anywhere, whether you're watching us on Rogers TV, YouTube, or CBL TV. We'll be right back for the rest of our segment here with today's guest, Nick Iannantone. We'll see you in a moment. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Brantford Red Sox Report, right here on Rogers TV, Brantford Red Sox CBL YouTube, and Brantford Red Sox on CBL TV. I'm Marshall Crocker. Welcome back to the program. Today we're joined alongside rookie to the new Canadian Baseball League and to the Brantford Red Sox, outfielder for the 2026 Brantford Red Sox squad. Nick Iannantone joins us back on the program once again. Now, Nick, we just talked about it a moment ago off camera. We always do. There's always a game. There's always a challenge. We like to keep you guys on your toes here when we bring somebody in the studio. Usually we play What's Your Record, but Cassidy Watt, he broke the scale on that one. He was too good at the game. I hope for the sake of this one, because we have a prize on the line, that you win. But if you don't, it means we can use it again. So we're going to do a bit of a lightning round here. 15 questions for the 15 championships the Brantford Red Sox have won. There's a prize on the line here. I don't know if you know this, Nick. We often do for our ticket stubs when you come to the game day. You get a physical ticket stub. We do 2 players on it. I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to who we pick or why they do it. You are going to be a solo face. You are going to be solo on the ticket stub for next weekend's games if you can pass the challenge here. You got 2 minutes. We got 15 speed run questions. Let's get to know you here a little bit. We're going to kick it off, all right? First question, favorite childhood baseball player?
Josh Hamilton.
Your hardest type of catch to make in the field?
Where you have to lay out, dive for.
Anything diving?
Yeah.
Your favorite Red Sox jersey to wear this season?
Probably the white.
Just the classic white?
Yeah.
Your favorite road ballpark in the Canadian Baseball League?
Definitely London, Labatt Park.
Labatt?
Yeah.
Other than the U.S. and Canada, what country would you want to play baseball in?
Mexico or Japan.
What's the longest recorded home run you've ever hit?
I don't even know, maybe like 460 or something like that.
Favorite subject in college?
Probably sports science. I study kinesiology, so something like that.
Fitting enough. Worst music genre for a walk-up song?
To me, country, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
There's some country songs on the current team. Would your teammates trust you to babysit their dog for a week?
Yeah, definitely.
All of them? Every single one?
Yeah, for sure.
What gym PR are you proudest of? You don't have to give us a number, but what?
Probably my squat.
For baseball players, you hear that? Yeah, that's a good one. I'd be fascinated to know. Longest at bat you've ever had? How many pitches? Do you remember?
Oh God, maybe like at least 15 plus. I've had a few this year, some in college that have been very, very long.
You had a 10 this year. I remember at least one at home. Your favorite part of just Brantford as a city?
I mean, it's a nice community. Like it seemed like everyone likes and supports all the sports teams and stuff here. I think that's really cool, and there's a lot of like cool places to eat too.
Passionate sports fan base and everything. Would you rather play in the rain or play in 40 degrees Celsius, whatever that is in Fahrenheit, over 100?
Definitely 40 degrees Celsius.
40 degrees Celsius. If you were called in a relief pitch, how many batters would it take to record 3 outs?
I would say 7 or 8.
7 or 8? That's not bad. Hey, it's better than some arms around the league. And finally, how many hits are you recording tonight against Guelph at the time of recording?
2.
2? There you go.
Hopefully.
And a walk? You always
you gotta dig in a walk for sure.
You get a walk in there every time. Final bonus question. You passed the test. Congratulations.
Cool.
You were the second ever winner of a game here on Brantford Red Sox Report. You had 8 seconds to spare. What would you, in terms of scoring, would you prefer they include a walk? You know, when we say, he's 2 for 4 today, would you prefer you include the walk? Because for my money, getting on base, taking pitches up the pitcher, that's like extra value. Walk's better than a single. Would you, maybe the way they score it, you count it in your...
I mean, I like that it doesn't count for ABs for sure, because, I mean, you don't want to hurt your batting average and stuff. But I think walking and on-base percentage should definitely be valued a lot more than I think it is, because, I mean, if you're, making pitchers work and you're a tough out and you're getting on base consistently, I mean, you're still a very valuable player in my eyes, for sure.
That's very well put. And we're going to talk a little bit about your background, how you got into baseball. We're going to show your numbers from your time at East Tennessee State. All of them, you were a very similar player in your 2 major seasons. You really just kind of became the same player year 1 to year 2. What number, we're going to show on screen, if you had to sum up your ability, if there's one stat you want to be good at to reflect the way you want to play the game, what would it be? Like, what's the one you really look at above all?
Definitely on base percentage, for sure. Yeah, because, I mean, if you have a 500 on base, like, to me, that's pretty ridiculous. I mean, even other people like baseball people, they'll agree. They'll be like, yeah, you're getting on base 50% of the time. I mean, you're a pretty good baseball player if you're doing that, so.
Let's go way back. What got you into the sport? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you were a multi-sport guy growing up, I believe. What made you choose, okay, baseball's the one?
Well, my dad played a lot growing up, and he played like a little bit at a community college back home in Chicago. And fun fact, since it's Canadian, he actually had a little bit of a stint with the Montreal Expos, but it was only for like spring training because he got hurt, so he didn't really get to play in any like actual games. But then he played after that for a while, up until probably I was about 10, because then after that, like, I started playing every weekend with travel baseball and stuff, so he wanted to be there and watch me play. And I was always around him at the field and everything, and a lot of the guys that he played with, even in like what men's would bat leagues and stuff, like all of his buddies, like, they would travel all across the country and play in these tournaments, and all the guys on his team were guys that played, affiliated baseball, and some guys that, played high-level baseball. So I kind of was always around good baseball people my entire life, so that kind of got me into it for sure.
You've been doing a little bit of work this week with the Red Sox summer camps, their game-ready training. You're kind of already helping the younger generation. You're out there getting a little bit involved. What's your future in baseball look like? Are you looking to play in some form, either in the CBL or a league for 20 years? Do you maybe see yourself in a future in coaching? What does baseball mean for your future? I
definitely want to continue to play for a few more years. I mean, I have some places I want to go play in and I'm shooting for and everything. But definitely once I'm done, I want to go into, I don't know, either coaching or scouting, something like that. I definitely want to stay in professional baseball. I like professional baseball. I also wouldn't be too opposed to doing like high-level college baseball at a Division I, like coaching there for a little bit and seeing how that goes. But definitely want to stay in baseball for sure.
Your dad, playing growing up, obviously, like you say, playing in the Expos spring training squad, do you play like him? Do you kind of reflect the way he grew up, or did he kind of try to make you into your own player model?
I mean, he kind of just taught me like just the basics. I mean, baseball, like he's always told me like baseball's such a simple game and like people just make it more complicated than it is. And I mean, going back to how I play, like all of my roots, like when I talk to guys, they're like, well, how do you do this and this? And it's just like I have such simple answers for everything. And people look at me and be like, that's too simple of an answer. And it's like, because it's baseball. Like we've been playing this since we're 10 years old. The only difference is the field gets bigger and guys throw harder. Like that's the only difference. So if
you break it down, if you make it simple, you swing or you don't, right? That's the sport. It's very binary. if there was one thing, we're going to wrap it up here. First of all, thank you, Nick, so much for coming in today. All these guys, they come into the show and then they play a game in 3 hours. Like, I appreciate you. You know, a lot of guys are locked in. I appreciate you're willing to give us the time. Final question. If you want to look down the camera this one time, if there's anybody, any kids watching at home, any young baseball players, we always try to give, kind of tips and advice on the broadcast. If there's one lesson that you think reflects the way you play, you tell to a young kid growing up wanting to play baseball, what would it be? What's the advice?
Play as hard as you can, every single pitch and every play. Don't take plays off, and just continue to persevere. And when people tell you you're not good enough, just don't listen to them and keep doing you, and just continue to grind and work hard, and the game will reward you in the end.
Nick, you're a beauty. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, my man. I can't promise kids watching at home you're going to end up as good as this guy. This guy, I was rattling the cages. I thought he should have been first ballot. I thought he should have been starting in that All-Star game. But apparently, that sheet, that voting All-Star ballot, they didn't have walks on it. They didn't have walk-to-K ratio. And I'm like, oh, yeah, get the home run guys striking out 40 times, put them in the All-Star game. Anyways, that's a separate topic for today. Nick, thank you for coming in today. When we come back, we're going to do kind of a segment look at the past. I always say we want to look at the future and the past of the Brantford Red Sox. We're going to do just that in a few moments. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this break. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Brantford Red Sox Report, right here on Brantford Red Sox CBL YouTube, Rogers TV, and Brantford Red Sox on CBL TV. Well, we always talk about, like I said in the last segment, we always say we're going to take a look forward, a look back to the past, to the future, and we often just look at the future. We talk to today's players, we project ahead of the future of the team, but I've really, in my own personal time, I've been trying to make a point lately of learning more about the history of the team, because I open it up with every broadcast. I say 15-time champions of this great league, and those stretch all the way back to the 1950s. This is a team with a ton of history. There's so many iconic names, and I, as a commentator, as the conduit, the guy who speaks for the team, the guy who speaks for the past, as I'm talking about today's present team on every broadcast, I feel it's my duty. I want to learn more about the history and learn more about the background, about the teams that played on the field that we call Arnold Anderson long before today's 2026 squad. So today, as we talk a little bit about an all-star today who's doing great things in the present with Nick Iannantone, who again we thank for having on the program, I do want to talk a little bit about the past. And there's 3 names that particularly I've circled and I want to highlight. And I want to take an opportunity to say these are some of the names that made this team great. We want to remember the past. And if those of you that are watching out there, you enjoy a bit of a look at the past, a little bit of a look at the players of yesteryear, of certain eras that made this team great today and won those 15 championships, let us know. And we're gladly going to do this again. I want to start with a gentleman who plays the toughest position in baseball for my money, a catcher. A gentleman from way back in the day of the original championship teams, Ted Baker. We want to take a moment here to look at him as one of the icons of this team, as one of the greats that have made this, everything possible here in Brantford. He started it out with those very first couple championship teams. He was one of 19 Brantford Red Sox that was named to the IBL 100 team in 2018. So you think about 19 players on a team of 100 through league history. That's how many Brantford Red Sox greats there are out there. Through his career as a catcher, great behind the plate, but he also sported a .290 batting average, 181 hits, 120 RBIs, and 20 homers in a 626 career at-bat span. He called pitches for some of the best pitchers in the history of what was formerly the Inter-County Baseball League. Those included Ron Stead and Wallace Spud Bush. I love the old-timey good old-time nicknames rather than the first name. We kind of got to bring that back. He won the 5 straight titles. That was the original run, 1959 to 1963. He was the starting catcher on all of those teams there behind the plate. And the 1965 season, it was one of the seasons of infamy for the Brantford Red Sox. Everybody was injured. Everybody was down after a down 1964 season. During the 1965 season, he was, quote, playing while having difficulty raising his right arm above his shoulder. He's a catcher, ladies and gentlemen, and he was still great on that team that went on to win a championship. On July 4th of 2018, he returned to Arnold Anderson Stadium almost 40 years later to be honored for his IBL 100 selection with a gold bat bearing this name, and we have footage of that ceremony.
Please get on your feet and welcome back to Arnold Anderson Stadium, Mr. Ted Baker.
Well, next after Ted, let's take a look a couple decades in the future. Let's look ahead a little bit to Dave Dix, a man who played 444 career games in the Intercounty Baseball League. He was an outfielder. He played from 1970 to 1986 for that total of 444. Well, imagine playing 16 years in major baseball action and major competition and batting 300 for your entire career, 508 hits, 341 RBIs, 56 homers, and almost 1,700 at-bats. He ranks top 15 in IBL history in career RBIs, walks, doubles, and home runs. He's one of the all-time greats in all-time longevity. Very hard to find here at this level. He was also the manager of the Brantford Red Sox for a number of seasons in the 1990s. He's been a part of this team, a part of the blood of the organization for as many years as many can remember. Outside of baseball, Dave Dix was a teacher and a coach with the Grand Erie District School Board, and he was also a former president of the Brantford Air Force Club. He was a big part of this city. I've only heard great stories about him going back, and he's just one of those guys that when I joined in the team and I started doing my research through some of our historical archives, he's a name that just jumped out everywhere. Dave Dix, one of the best at his position and the best at his era, and an icon here of Brantford sports. He passed away in March of 2019 at the age of 69, but luckily just a year prior, he was also honored there on July 25th of 2018 for his IBL 100 selection of that season. He was one of the 19 Red Sox to earn the honors. He came to a game at Arnold Anderson Stadium, and he received a gold bat bearing his name, and we even have some cool footage of his granddaughter throwing out the ceremonial first pitch.
Welcome back to the ballpark, Mr. Dave Dix.
And finally, let's take a look at somebody a little bit more contemporary and somebody who was a part of this organization in a behind-the-scenes in a front office position less than a decade ago. Lee Delfino is an iconic name, not just in Brantford, but in all of the Intercounty Baseball League, one of the most iconic moments in league history, and you're going to see it in a few moments. Don't worry. If you know what I'm talking about, you can be excited to see it again. 261 games at shortstop. The other argument for toughest position in baseball after catcher, an 8-time champion with the Brantford Red Sox. You want to know how the team gets to 15 championships? The run, the dynasty from 2006 to 2013, that streak of 8 title teams every year. But 2007, he was the primary shortstop on all those teams. 6-time All-CBL, and he was the 2013 playoff MVP. So towards the tail end of his career, he was still putting up incredible numbers. Is kind of seen as the clutch guy, as the clutch gene player. You know, similar to how George Springer is thought of in today's Toronto Blue Jays team. He is very similar in that role. In an interview about the Red Sox title streak he did back in 2013, Delfino said, "It speaks volumes about the kind of town that Brantford is, the kind of team that we have, and the kind of ownership we have. It's like a big family," and he was a huge part of that family. There was a reason you don't leave family behind, and he's stuck around past his playing days. He was described as a business mind by former Red Sox owner Paul Aucoin. So fittingly, in 2013, when Aucoin stepped down, gave up ownership of the team, he became co-owner. He passed it down to Delfino, and he also had a clothing company called Oppo Taco with former Red Sox Young Cho. The two became co-owners of the team and the Red Sox organization back in 2013. A quote from Delfino before we wrap up: "I was ready to stop playing baseball at 25 years old, and get on with the working world. But Paul, the Red Sox organization, and the city gave me an opportunity to find love in the game again." He's one of the all-time greats. He's one of the more contemporary names that a lot of people still in today's generation, the one just before me, fellow commentators around the league, they only speak glowingly about Lee Delfino for what he did on the field and off it. And the most iconic moment, we've been setting it up, Game 7 in Toronto in the IBL final. This is a number of years ago, back in 2007. Lee Delfino hits a blast over the Christie Pitts outfield fence out there in Toronto. Still a fence today that sees plenty of homers go over it, but he had one of the most iconic of all time. And the particular way that he pimped it a little bit, he tried out a little bit of fun, a little bit of pizzazz in the home run, is what makes it one of the most iconic moments of all time. Let's take a look.
Whoa, and another bomb. Good night, it is out of here. And Delfino with his hand raised in the air ties up this ball game. And Derek is jogging the bases with Delfino. Not too sure what that's about. Oh, he's talking trash to him. It looks like anyway. With his hands in the air. You know these guys are rivals, both these teams. And we are tied up again. Things are getting nasty here at Christie Pitts.
There you saw going after him in that clip towards the tail end. That was Toronto pitcher Paul Spolaric, who was not particularly impressed by the strong bat flip action. Followed him, jogged with him all the way around the base paths. Brantford would get the last laugh in that game, but unfortunately Toronto would get the last laugh in the series. That 2007 season, the only year off that Brantford did not win a championship in the middle of that 8 championships from 2006 to 2013 dynasty. But that moment, the Blue Jays Bautista bat flip got talked about, memorialized in my time growing up in baseball through the mid-2010s. That's one that lives long in the memories of many a Brantford Red Sox player, and we've never had the chance to reference it on the broadcast, and unfortunately, not many playoff game-winning walk-off home runs I've had the pleasure of calling yet. Hopefully, this year, maybe. We still have plenty of time, but I hope we get the opportunity in the future, and when we do, we'll reference it as the next Delfino home run. An iconic moment, an iconic player. So Ted Baker, Dave Dix, and Lee Delfino. We wanted to take a moment today to just introduce you. Maybe you've just got to know the team through this season. Maybe Red Sox Report is your introduction to the Brantford Red Sox and this great organization. And again, I just feel as somebody who, as the spokesperson, as the voice of the Brantford Red Sox, it's my duty to do the history and behind the scenes, watch old games, learn old information, and hopefully with the help of some new fans, including a friend I made the other day at a Red Sox game, a gentleman who was a bat boy on that original 1960 team. There are so many players and there's so many fans that still help build the history, that still come out to games, that still come help and build that iconic knowledge. So if you love the history, if you like taking a look back today and learning a little bit about the past and some of our great players, let us know and we'd love to do it again. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for the Brantford Red Sox Report, Season 2, Episode 4. I've been Marshall Crocker, of course, the voice of the Brantford Red Sox and Director of Broadcast Media. I'm going to head off in a couple minutes, and we're going to do the game tonight. Guelph Royals is the team we're playing. They're coming in Arnold Anderson tonight. We're not going to give you the schedule. Check it out at the time of recording. There are plenty of games through the month of August. All the rescheduled games. Don't go anywhere. There's going to be plenty of baseball if you want to come out to a game in Brantford. Thanks to Nick Iannantone. Thanks to Ryan Kennedy behind the scenes producing our show here today. Thanks so much for watching. Check us out anytime. Red Sox Report on Brantford Red Sox CBL YouTube, Brantford Red Sox CBL TV. And thank you for watching on Rogers TV. Here's our social media. We'll see you again very soon. Thanks for watching.